if I'm not working on myself, nothing is going to change. So yeah, this is a huge part of following your dream is your mindset, really. And you have to push yourself and really work on it, because otherwise no one will come and be like, here's your dream, have it.
Welcome everyone to LifewithLiza podcast. Our mission at LifewithLiza is to share people's stories and the challenges that they had overcome, so those who are listening in can get the strength, the courage and hope to be their better selves. Today, we have a very special guest. She is the one who decided to follow her dreams. She has a passion for traveling, and she shares incredible tips on the mindset space as well. Nina, welcome to the show.
Hi, Lisa. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very glad to be here.
I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you for agreeing to participate in this crazy idea of recording this podcast.
Of course.
And let's rewind a bit back. Let's go back to the days when you were 14 years old, you had your part-time job and you had a big dream. What was your dream and how did you get to where you are now?
Well, my family has always been traveling a lot. So it was always like this ideal life for me was I want that for myself as well when I'm grown up, you know. Maybe you saw some of my stories. My father is a pilot, my brother is becoming one now. So traveling and being like independent in some way was always this passion. But there were also a lot of, I would say, financial issues. So I started to work for myself very early. I think I started waitressing when I was like 13 or something. And, you know, always with this goal in my mind, one day I want to do this trip around the world. And maybe when I was 14, I did romanticize this a little bit too much. You know, I thought of buying a van and living in Australia, which is possible for sure. But now that I'm 25, I understand, okay, there are things like, how do I gonna do my taxes? Yeah. It took a while for me to go for this step, because I thought about going on a trip around the world when I was 18 and finishing school. But in some way, I always a job came to me, and a really nice job. So I was like, okay, I try out a normal job, a cool job, and then when I'm free, I've also always been in relationships. One day I will do this, but this day never came, you know. So I realized I have to make this decision and go for it. Otherwise, I will never do it.
Yeah. Curious, you said you had a very cool job. So what was your job? And do you think it was harder to quit it because you were actually enjoying it?
Oh yeah, definitely. I was working for TV first in Austria. Then I studied for 3 years film production, and right after my studies, I was called from a place in Italy. It was Austrian TV, where I was working for an internship. And they called me and offered me a job because one of their colleagues, she got pregnant and also she quit her job. So they asked me if I want to take her job because they already knew me from a 3-month internship. And at this time, I just finished my studies. I was actually in a very unhappy place because I didn't know what to do with my life, and also my relationship at that time didn't work so well. So I needed something, you know, that keeps me going. And this job just came. So yeah, it was really cool. Working as a TV reporter is very exciting, because every day you get some new stories, you do news, you do stories about people. It's very colorful, a very nice job. But at one point, I was living in this very small town in Italy, which was nice, but also very narrow. And there were like a lot of mountains around me, and I'm like the city kid who is not used to it. And I loved it, but at some point I also realized that the people there have a different mentality. So when you tell them you want to go and travel the world, most of them have never really been outside of their country. So I just realized at one point, this job is nice, but I can't stay there forever. But this is where I also met my boyfriend, and he agreed to come with me to Vienna. And yeah.
And for everyone who's listening in, you decided to go on this travel mission in the COVID times. So I can imagine that it was...
Yeah, really. Some people ask me like, why do you do this now? Can't you wait? But I think, and this is also to all of you who are listening who want to go, I don't know how long, and nobody knows how long this COVID thing is going to stay, you know. It might be over after this year, it might go for 2 more years, I don't know. For me, for myself, it was not an option to wait longer, you know. So
And
I
that's what I
decided
love.
now.
And that's what I love about you, because, you know, you had a dream and you're actually the one who took action and started working on your dream. Because I feel that way too many people are there just having dreams that will never become reality, just because
Absolutely.
they don't take action. And you actually were sharing something very interesting on your Instagram. You were talking about dream killers. I don't know if you remember that post of yours. You were saying, what are the dream killers? You were saying that, you know, that there people are afraid to fail, or they're afraid to think what others will
Yeah,
think, or they're just
yeah,
not committed enough to
that's a
their
huge
goals.
issue, yeah. And I still think this is like the biggest issue for a lot of people out there, because I think that, and also stability. Because for me, no one ever like told me you shouldn't go. My parents are very supportive. My boyfriend said he's coming with me, so I never had this problem of people telling me don't do it. Um, for me, it's more the problem that I don't know where is my income coming from, where do I want to live, how do I don't know, want to afford that traveling lifestyle. This is a bigger issue for me, and I think for a lot of people out there as well, because the question I get asked the most is, how do you afford to do that?
So
That's a
how do you
huge.
afford to do it?
Well, I shared it as well in my stories once, because it's such a common question. And as you know, I started saving up for this since I'm 14. So if you start saving up this amount for 10 years, and I also worked full time when I turned 21, so I didn't study very long. It was always my priority. So I'm not saying you need a huge amount of savings to start it, but I would really suggest, if you want to go for this full-time travel thing or whatever it is you want to do, save up some money, because it gives you some security. But
Yeah.
yeah, still, this is like my main income, like my main living source right now. But we also have some projects going on, like small brand corporations, and unexpected money sometimes comes as well. You know, if you have your goal, sometimes when I was here in Vienna, this company called me. I worked with them years ago, and they called me because they saw that I'm back, and they were like, "Yeah, you want to work with us again?" And I had this job out of nowhere, and I'm managing also some social media accounts for other people. So it's like small baby steps, but you know, as long as I see things moving, I'm staying positive about it. Yeah.
Yeah. And how do you see yourself in a year or so? What would be your dream? How do you see your lifestyle and what you're doing and what you're contributing to other people through your social media platforms? What's your vision?
So maybe each day think of some actions that bring you closer to these dreams or visions. So what I wrote down for this year is, I have a bucket list of places where I want to go. So this is like my main goal. Okay, I want to travel. Where are the places I want to travel to? I set amount of money I want to earn. I never did that before. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I have this goal. Okay, this is going to be on my bank account at the end of the year. And I really want to, what I love about this Instagram journey as well is connecting with like-minded people, like with you and with so many other people who have the exact same dream. And I see people approaching this dream in different ways, and it's just very nice to connect. So I see myself in a year even more connected, and yeah, I would love to be able to live this travel lifestyle and make my income from wherever I am, and be happy, you know, also mentally, and get in really good shape also for my mental health. Yeah.
Cool. And I was wondering, because you not only share the travel tips or the places or the beautiful locations, you also want to focus on mindset and all on mindset tips and all the lessons that you learn along the way. I was wondering, why do you find it important, and why did you decide to share also mindset?
That's a really good question, because when I started, I did like travel and fashion, but in some way it didn't feel right, because I'm doing this Instagram thing, but I'm also very trying to step back a little bit, because I don't think it's always that healthy. You know, everybody knows the issues about social media, and I don't want to be the next, you know, social media queen who everybody admires and is like, oh, I want to be like her and I want to wear the things like her. I wanted, if I'm doing this Instagram thing, I really want to make it worth people following me, you know? I want to give them something. I want to make something bigger, not only showing my new, I don't know, bikini or whatever. These are also nice things, and these are things I'm also working on. But still, I don't think it wouldn't be suitable for me. You know, I want to, yeah, I need more behind it than just nice pictures of me.
Yeah. And I think it's also when you touched upon the topic that the most important thing is not only to be in the beautiful place or location yourself, but also to be in a beautiful place inside. And there's nothing
Yeah, that's a huge thing, yeah.
worse that could be when you're in a beautiful, gorgeous place and you feel miserable and you want to cry and you just don't have the inner peace.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I saw quite some of your posts. So I saw one when you posted the one from a beautiful location and you were smiling and you actually said that you don't feel so good in this picture. And
yeah, I remember that. Was a long post to go, but yeah.
So how did you bring yourself out from that negative place into a more positive one? What steps did you take? If there's somebody who's listening now and then they're quite sad and they just don't know what to do, what actionable steps can you recommend, and what did you do?
And also for myself, in the past I had like relationship problems, financial problems with my body image, stuff like that. There were so many things coming together, and of course, if that things change, if you're in a happy relationship, or if you find a job that you really like, things change for me as well. But what I also realized, especially about not feeling well with your own body, or I don't know, yeah, I think sometimes it's also time, you know. That doesn't mean that you have to wait and sit around, but sometimes you just need to put off some pressure and be like, okay, it's going to be okay. Nothing has to change tomorrow, you know. You can give yourself some time. It's okay. Everybody has these problems. And also what I realized, if it's really bad, it's not a problem if you get help. I never did it for myself, you know, but I realized at the past that I really had some issues and I went through them alone. And I thought, well, these are issues. There are people who are professionals who help you with this. Yeah. I know it also costs money, yes, but maybe you can find someone who is in your friendship circle, you know, who can help you. And also what helped me a lot is I had always these issues with, am I good enough? Is the job that I'm doing good enough and everything? And when I finally had my first full-time job, it was really hard for me at the beginning, but after some time I realized that people really value what I'm doing. And now I see the same thing happening with Instagram. So people are, you know, we're getting connected. People are telling me, wow, can you help me? I need this, I need that. And seeing that the work you do, you do a good job because you love what you do. So that also gives you peace. So I really would, try to focus on yourself, become in peace with yourself. And also some super basic things we all know help. If you move your body, eat well, go outside, go in a forest, have some fun time with your friends, put your phone down. These super basic things, we all know them, but we don't do them, right? So I think these small baby steps sometimes help as well, yeah.
Yeah. And I think, I just got the goosebumps when you said, that you're thinking that you're not good enough. And afterwards, when you were saying, but then when you actually started doing things, you're like, actually, I'm being quite valued and I can learn and I can improve. And also the feedback that you're getting on Instagram. And I thought, the beautiful thing about your page on Instagram is also that I see that you're trying to build a community of people. In the sense, it's not just, you're not just posting the pictures, you're also replying to people and actually like asking them other questions and follow-up questions and reaching out. And I think it's very beautiful because I think that's what social media is supposed to be like.
Absolutely, yeah. Or what you're doing, you share valuable content, and people really, I think this is the direction social media also goes to. That people need some value and not only pretty pictures.
Exactly. Oh, and I was also wondering what are your thoughts on like a lot of people got quite sad during the COVID times because so many people were just
Hmm.
staying home, and then everyone is watching social media and they see
Hmm.
everyone else, like it seems having the time of their life because social
Yeah,
media
yeah.
tends to
That's, yeah, it always has been like this, but now with COVID also, it's even worse. Yeah, that's true. Um, I really think that if you're not trying to build a career with Instagram, really just take a step back. It really helps, I think. If I wouldn't work with Instagram, I would, I don't know, I have friends of mine who deleted for 3 days and then they downloaded it just for the weekend or just for a few days a week. I know it's you always have to take action, yes, but if you're not trying to work with Instagram, really take a step back because obviously I think it's a really big problem because I've done so many courses now about social media and also about editing, and I saw what I didn't know that so much is possible, from I'm not only talking about turning gray water into super blue water. It's also, as we talked about, body types and body positivity. It's crazy what you can edit. And I think a lot of people are doing it because I realized it after taking these editing courses, and you have some small issues, granted, and even if it's not edited, I can tell you from so many pictures that we took as well that we were maybe in a fight because my boyfriend wanted to take this picture that way. I wanted to take it that way. We had to wait for an hour to get to the spot. We got lost in a way. There's so much happening behind a picture. There's always a story. It's not like these people are running around having the best time and just snap.
Yeah, thank you for sharing us the behind the scenes of beautiful pictures and what is actually
Yeah.
happening. And yeah, I think that's something that just needs to be more talked more about. And I think that's the direction that the social media is going. I see more people posting like Instagram versus reality.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And it's also so fun. Sometimes you see these Insta models and then they post this picture, how they look when they post it or stuff like that. And it's more
Yeah.
fun, it's more relatable.
Yeah. And now as you started more and more traveling, and I was wondering if you have any fun travel stories that you could share with us, anything that went wrong, or I don't know, anything that you learned. And it was like, because I know when you travel, you learn so much because you
Hmm.
experience everything. So I was wondering, do you have any fun stories that are your go-to fun stories to share, or any failures that happened, or yeah.
From my last trip, not really, because we were really, I don't know, really good prepared. We were the two of us, and I always feel like if you're traveling, the two of you, we had this little bubble, and this is also maybe something we want to change now that we continue traveling. Maybe we try more to, sleep in a hostel and not in an Airbnb to connect with other people. So not a lot of stories happen here, maybe like small things, but for me, the biggest travel stories happened when I was traveling alone and traveling with a friend and sleeping in hostels and stuff. So once I can remember, I forgot my passport. This is like one of my to-go stories. I forgot my passport in a hostel, and I called because we were in a bus in Cambodia, and they told me it's not a problem. People send things by bus to the city, to the main city, the capital, every day. So I was like, yeah, why not? I sent my passport with this bus because I didn't want to go like 8 hours back to this place. And of course, my passport got lost. I took hours to figure out that someone has kidnapped my passport, and they asked me to pay an amount of money to get my passport back. It was really kidnapped. And so the hotel guy there, he spoke with the people on the bus station, and he drove with me with his scooter to a super dodgy, small, dark area behind some houses, and I was alone on this motorbike with a guy from a hotel in Cambodia. And there was another guy, and he held up like an envelope and said, "Here is your passport." And he ended up charging me $10 for my passport. I was like, "I give you 50 if you want." I don't want to sound rude, but why do you do all this for $10? And this was like a moment for me where I thought, people are going through all of this just to get $10. And I'm, sometimes we are like, yeah, I lost $10. It doesn't matter. So things are really different in different cultures. There are many, many stories. I once had an accident as well, with a motorbike, and I'm still having scars from that to the day now. So yeah.
So what happened with the motorbike?
With the motorbike, I was driving with a friend on the backseat, and I didn't know that he never drove a motorbike before. And his other friend was also with us, and he was trying like these cool tricks. And he slipped on a super busy street in Vietnam. And my friend with whom I was driving, he was so scared that he hit the brakes, and we just were falling off the bike. And I was really injured. I couldn't walk and had like damaged knees. And we didn't know what to do. And this Vietnamese family picked us up from the ground, basically, drove us to the next hospital. They didn't speak English. They just took care of us. They paid for all our hospital bills, and they were gone after that. We couldn't even say thank you. They were just like, "Here you have them," and stuff like that sometimes happens. So the best thing about traveling and the best stories are really always when other people are involved, I feel.
Yeah, definitely. Travel just opens up your mind forever. Just like if you stay in the same place, I feel like your vision becomes like this. And once you travel, it's like you see so many beautiful places. And it's just, I just cannot put traveling into one. I cannot explain what traveling does to you, but it does something truly magical.
You get kind of addicted to the feeling as well, right? To be at a new place, to meet new people. If you once start, I feel you can never stop.
It's like the biggest drug,
Yeah, that's true. It's a healthy drug, but it is one.
And the projects that you keep mentioning, I'm so curious. I just don't know if you're allowed yet to share what the projects are that you're working on, or are they secret?
Not in detail, not in detail, but it's like a video project, and might be for a national TV station, and it has a lot to do with people who live in other countries from Austria, and also some other projects. We have some projects ourselves. Like I'm working on my own website with a web shop, with presets, ebooks, and maybe in the future also something like a course, like a tutoring, or also I want to help people to follow their dreams like I do, or like so many others on Instagram do.
Has been following your dreams as you expected, or was it nothing like you expected? Or somewhere in between?
In some ways, yes. But it's also, as you said, if you're at a beautiful place, but you're not okay with yourself, you won't be so much happier. Like I've did a semester abroad in Malaysia, and it was one of the best times in my life. And I was so attached to that feeling that I had there, that I expected when I go and start traveling again, this feeling like it has to come back. So it was not like that. It was different. And of course, I was not studying. I was not with any other students. I was with my boyfriend, which was beautiful as well, but different. And I think you have to stop making great expectations. Like, be happy for what comes. And also, if you're not working on yourself, I don't think that being on Bali or wherever will really fix it. So this is something I really learned, because in the first days where we were in South Africa now recently, I was happy, of course, for exploring and everything, but I also realized if I'm not working on myself, nothing is going to change. So yeah, this is a huge part of following your dream, is your mindset, really. And you have to push yourself and really work on it, because otherwise no one will come and be like, here's your dream, have it.
100%. And if you could go back in time, meet your younger self, and you have like a minute or a few sentences that you can say to your younger self, what would you say?
Yeah, it's really not an easy question, and I often thought about it myself because there are so many people also out there sharing what they would tell them their younger selves. I would say worry less for sure. Don't try to plan things too much ahead, and also stop worrying about things that didn't even happen, because that's a huge point for me. I'm worrying constantly about things that didn't even happen now. So also, maybe not to be, I always tried to have, when I was like 14, 15, I was going out a lot and had a lot of fun, but I was always in control, I planned everything and I was like super, in control of everything. And also when some things didn't went as I planned, I was panicking. So now I'm trying to let things flow a little bit more. Don't let anyone tell you you're not beautiful enough or skinny enough or whatever. Don't let anyone make you feel uncomfortable, because I feel that's one of the biggest issues that girls have with 14, 15 they have a huge problem with themselves. And so I think self-love is a big thing in that age, in any age, but especially in that age. So I would tell myself maybe to just accept and love myself a little bit more.
Oh, this was so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing.
Especially think for young girls. So maybe you can feel it from your own experience.
Definitely. And I think for me, it was a lot when I started using more and more Instagram, that you just start naturally kind of comparing yourself to others. And that I found very toxic, because as Jay Shetty says, there's 3 cancers of the soul, and it's comparing, complaining, and criticizing. And I really find that the second you start comparing, you lose your own power, because we are so powerful, we are unique, and that's our superpower. And when we start comparing, you lose it and you feel so lost. And I think a lot of girls going through this when they're a bit younger, going through this stage of not thinking they are not good enough. And for those that are listening in, you are good enough.
Yes, everybody is beautiful in their own way and can do the things other people do. Some people are doing this for 5 years. Of course they have 1 million followers, because for 5 years they have been working on their photography skills, on their content creation skills. So this is something different. I started really putting work in a year ago. So there is no need to compare yourself, and also people who have now maybe 300 followers sometimes text me and ask me, why is it not working? Why I'm not growing? Why this and that? It takes time, everything. And it also applies to so many other if you want to be the fittest version of yourself, it takes maybe months, but you can't compare it to someone who's already working out for 2 years every day. So this comparing really, it doesn't help you at all, and it doesn't make you grow. It doesn't make you feel better. So whenever you catch yourself, for those who are listening, comparing, it's really, really not worth your energy and time to do so. I try to inspire myself without comparing, which is really hard sometimes. But it has to work. Otherwise, as you said, it's like cancer for the soul.
But also, I think the important point that you mentioned, and I wanted to also zoom in on it, I think what most people forget is that a lot of the things are a game of skill acquisition. So, because when you're just starting out and you look at someone who has been doing something for 10 years, you just don't realize how much work they have invested in getting better at something. If it is editing pictures or taking pictures or creating videos, and you compare yourself from, at the stage that you're now, without realizing that you actually can acquire all of these skills. It will take you 10 years. Sure, it took other people 10 years, but you can get there if you work hard and you put in the consistent work, you can get there.
Absolutely. And I also feel, because everybody says you need to work hard. So I always had this, it has to be serious, it's hard work. I don't want to be super serious with my work for the rest of my life. I want to have fun with my work. So I try to take it less serious. It's not less important, but try to take myself and everything a little bit less serious, so that it's fun, and it should be fun, whatever you're doing. Of course, hard work doesn't necessarily mean you don't have to do. Of course, you work the hours, but of course, consistency, that was my key. Consistency really is part of success. It is the most important one. Because if maybe you saw it, I grew from 3,000 to now it's, I think, 20,000. And this big growth happened in maybe 4 months, and this is what people saw. But what they don't see is I worked for this maybe for 2 years, and the last year I really posted every day, sometimes twice a day. And I had like no growth at all. People were not viewing my reels or something. But what kept me going is that I knew if I keep going, at some point it must change, And that applies for any other life issue as well. Maybe you won't see results right away, but if you keep going, of course, something has to change or come out of this. This is like a law, a natural law, yeah.
I love this natural law, and I think you described it beautifully. And I just love following along your journey and seeing you grow, because that's what you do, you just actually get better. And that's why the more reels you post, with every other reel, you become better at doing it, or, you get the feedback, and you just need to put on the work. I think that's what I'm trying to get at. Consistently put in the work, and you'll make, you'll be good at whatever you want to be good at. And just to make sure, like, for anyone listening, just make sure that you actually enjoy what you're doing, because there will be a lot of hard work.
Yes, exactly. You will stick with it, and that's why it's so important to do something you really like. If you're feeling that this is not the right place for you, try to change it and try to find something that makes you happy.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Before I ask my last question, where people can connect with you and reach out to you?
Well, most of the people reach out to me at my DM, so you can always DM me on Instagram, and please do so, because I really love chatting with people about their lives and also about their problems. Sometimes I have people who approach me and are like, "I'm so unhappy, I don't know what to do," and I feel like this has become like a new role kind of for me, also to chat about people, about their problems or their anxiety or issues. So definitely reach out to me and do that. You can always text me and connect. There's also an email button on my profile, so if you prefer to connect via email, you can do that as well. And as I said, there's going to be a website that's also kind of a blog. So I know blog is not for everyone, but if you want to follow along just my journey, or I will share not only travel tips, also mindset related things and more stories as well. So this is going to be something in the future to offer people also more to connect. Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Cannot wait to check out your website and to read that blog.
Yeah,
and
I'm happy
your
to get
tips.
your feedback. Yeah.
Yeah. My last question, the final question is, so let's imagine you're now 80 years old, or quite old, and you look back in your life and there was one thing you wish you would have done, but you haven't. So what would you regret not doing?
Oh, this is also really difficult, because right now I'm so focused on the things that I want to do. I just can say, if I want my life to be an adventure. I don't want to have a normal this classic 9 to 5, buy a big house, get married with 30, and then that's it kind of thing. I think I would really, really regret that if I'm 80 and looking back and think, you had this dream of traveling, why did you never do that? And also I think also having healthy relationships and being with a partner that I really love, which is the case at the moment, but you never know. Also for other people who are listening, don't settle for someone who's not making you happy. I think I left my previous relationship because I felt, if this is going to be the person I'm growing old with, I will regret that if I'm 80. That's really hard to say, but not because someone is bad to you, but you just feel this is not the person for me. So also with relationships, and if it's friends, if you feel like your friend are not making you feel good or you can grow together, I think this is also something people look back when they're old and are like, okay, maybe I should have spent more time with those people and less with them, or, you know. But for sure, I think not going for your adventure is something you will regret at one point of your life. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so
That's why
much
you
for
should
being
go for it.
here. Thank you so
Thank you
much.
so much
You
for
have
having me.
you you have the most beautiful energy, and your energy is even more beautiful now as I get a chance to talk to you and see you. Than I saw on Instagram, which was already very beautiful. But thank you so much for doing this. It has been a pleasure, and I hope
Thank you
that
so much for inviting me, because I really like what you're doing, and I hope you keep going on. And it's lovely to connect. And also for people who are searching for maybe new friends or new possibilities, Instagram is also a very nice place. You know, it's not always bad, and social media is always so bad. We have like a connection now, and there are so many other people with whom I have great connection just because of Instagram. So it has been really lovely to connect with you, and also see what you're sharing. And yeah, it's really valuable. So guys, go through all to Lisa's post, because yeah, you will get a lot of value out from it.
oh, thank you so much.